I think we can start slowly. What do you guys think? Can you hear me well?
Yeah, perfectly.
Perfectly. We can soft start while more guests will join the room. So Ivo, Matt, Priyesh, everyone can hear everyone, right? So everything is set.
Sure.
So we start, Ivo. What do you think?
Yeah, just to be on time, more 2 minutes. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we wait another minute and a half, and then we start. Right, everyone. I think we can start. We should have thought about something to break this inconvenient silence before the 10 a.m. Right. Welcome everyone to this session. Good morning. So today's session is about forecasting the future, how AI is revolutionizing the retail operations. This is the first session of Storesace Academy, which basically is a platform for people that operate in this space, either has retailers, consultants, and even customers to share knowledge, experiences, problems, challenges. And obviously from Storesace's perspective, what we want is to also see whether or not we are up to the game in terms of responding to these challenges. So it's a platform for knowledge sharing, but also for us to learn and potentially to contribute to the discussions in this space. Today we are honored to have two guests who are based in the UK, but have their own focus in terms of and presence in the retail scene. Priyesh is a franchisee of One Stop Shop, and he's also involved in multiple activities in the wider convenience and retail sector in the UK. I would say he's a thought leader in this sector and is an influencer in the convenience space. Thank you, Priyesh, for being here. Matt Cundrick is also based in the UK. He's more on the side of consulting, and he consults for many brands in the retail, in the convenience, and he's also in the food sector, all of obviously fast food and food operations, and he's also here to share his knowledge around what he's been doing and what he sees as the biggest challenges in the next years. Ivo is a founder of Storesace. He will also be sharing the meeting with me. So the flow of the meeting is basically we have some questions lined up for our guests, so we obviously expect them to give us their opinion about some things that we want to know more, and I think that all the guests in the room will want to learn more from their experience and their vision. And then we'll have a couple of insights about Storesace as a platform and what Ivo is doing in terms of emerging developments, technological developments, looking at AI features. We'll have a Q&A towards the end, and you will be free to type questions, switch on the mic, ask questions you want to ask, and we will be wrapping it up before 11. So hopefully this will be a productive hour. In the end, obviously we expect you to have learned a bit more something about the challenges that some of you may be facing, and ask us questions that you think that we may be able to help you with, regardless of what perspective we can bring into the game. So if this sounds like a plan to you guys, I'll just give a couple of minutes if Matt and Priyesh want to introduce themselves, and then we'll jump to the lineup of the questions. So which I think is where the contribution will be. But please, Priyesh, a couple of words about yourself. Feel free to introduce yourself to us.
Morning, guys. So I'm Priyesh Vicaria, one-stop retailer and franchise partner, and my involvement with Storesace is to basically showcase some of the retail AI concepts that we are fortunate to have implemented as a franchise partner. I think One Stop is leading and cutting edge in the retail convenience sector in terms of their implementation, because it's tried, tested, and as a model, they themselves have a number of stores which are company owned. Therefore, they have a true vested interest in ensuring that any retail module concept brought to us is efficient, effective, and does what it's supposed to do with as little flaws as possible.
Matt, a couple of words about yourself and what you're doing.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for having me, and Ivo. I'm Cundrick. I'm a consultant in the food retail space. You see here, Food to Go Navigator, but I work across Food to Go, mostly convenience sectors, forecourt retail, with sold for across the world. My kind of role in this is that I have a very keen interest in the development of AI in food retail space, in the QSR space, and in Food to Go. Can absolutely see some of the fantastic value that Storesace are adding in that area. But yeah, here to support brands on that journey of how do you integrate it, how do you bring it into your world in the right way. What are the challenges, what are the pitfalls, what are the real opportunities that are there available, and who's making it work really, really well.
Right, thank you, Matt. We have a couple of lined up questions, basically because we wanted to have some structure around what we expect you to contribute and what we want to learn from you as well. But obviously, there is room for improvisation here. But I will kickstart with the first question. And the format will be, I will ask the same question to both of you, because we want to get your different perspectives around the topic, because obviously I know that Matt will bring different perspectives from Priyesh, and that's kind of the depth and the breadth of the ideas that we want to bring to this webinar. First question is around, in your own experience, Priyesh, so I would say particularly in convenience, but have you seen AI start to take a dominant role in operations? I think you have. If yes, what type of decisions and processes it has impact more on, based on your experience?
In short, at this stage, it's very new, it's very incoming, it's on trend, and I think AI for us is a complementary service. It complements our team, it complements everything that they do, and it's there to drive efficiencies and support in-store teams. What we don't want to see at this stage is, some of the concerns around AI coming in is, how effective is it? How efficient will it be? And is there true cost-saving exercise there? Or are we actually going to be investing capex in there and not seeing a return? For us, fortunate, we've got AI ordering, which means that we have just-in-time ordering, which is embedded alongside forecasted sales, rate of sale that's already happened, or is what the system is forecasting to sell. And we then also have a level of human input, which allows us to override that should we be in a position to have more insights on external factors that the system wasn't able to capture. So yes, it is definitely coming more and more dominant, but at this stage in the convenience channel, I think it's always best to say it's a complementary service to what we already do in store. It would be a number of years before it sort of overtakes. I mean, we've seen concepts like the Amazon Fresh store that's out there. And they have the teething problems, the teething issues, the flaw. Some of the challenges I see in having an AI automated store is, what is the flaw of this? Where is the shop mission gone? And all of these elements driven and derived by human input. The shopper mission is derived by, what does an individual want to shop? How does the store flow? Where do they pick the products up from? How do linked product purchases work? And that can't be navigated directly by AI at this stage. There's a lot of AI learning that needs to happen. So therefore, at this stage, I would say, yes, it's coming through, but there's a level of development still to be done.
How do you see it in the broad convenience sector? Because I know that many chains like yours, they have progressed quite a lot in terms of using AI for optimization, or they're doing some things that are
there you
remarkable.
mentioned it's the optimization, and I think that's
Yeah.
what we currently have a benchmark of what we'd like to do in terms of efficiencies. And with AI, I think we will far supersede that expectation, but it's understanding the level of development. So I think for anybody who's looking into this journey right now, the first port of call would be take a look at your ordering system, take a look at whether your products are on a full stock management and stock take system. Because once you've embedded those things, those are the things that currently will require an extensive amount of time and human input. Once those are sort of challenges are overcome and you're on board with that and you're doing that on a cycle, whether it be a 4-week cycle, 6-week cycle, AI modules can then be plugged into your systems to support automated ordering, forecasted ordering, and all of those things will sort of fall into place. Something else that we've just recently, well, when I say recently, I would say it's been in the store for us for about 18 months. We signed up to quick commerce through Deliverect. And again, that all ties in with our forecasted ordering system. So we're fortunately able to service online customers through Deliveroo, Just Eat, Uber Eats, and service in-store customers, all at the same time as managing the stock portfolio. So we're not worrying about out of stocks, price changes. They're all managed at a central point. So these are all of the benefits that I think AI lends itself to when you fully understand that it's not just an output where you're looking for a return. You have to speculate to accumulate in many of these scenarios.
Matt, in your experience, how do you see it, and how have you seen it getting into the shop floor scene, AI?
Yeah, I agree with what Priyesh was saying. Or kind of you're definitely seeing it as a complementary service. I think that's the absolute key in this. Is this isn't here to take over. It's not here to remove jobs, but it's here to complement and improve. So I've seen it offer probably a number of services. The key ones I'd call out is around efficiency. So I think, as Priyesh was touching on there, actually making decisions better and smarter to make the teams more efficient and actually use their time better. So rather than trying to do 20 jobs, let AI pick up 2 or 3 of those, and the team are therefore going to be delivering a better result. I've actually seen that drive morale in stores as well. So where AI can support with some of that laborious task, so invoice management, dealing with various realms of invoices incoming digitally, over email, spreadsheet based, actually being able to tidy some of that up and strip out the laborious side of that drives morale in stores, makes teams feel like they're actually not having to do all that boring office work. They can just be out the front doing what they do best and running shops. One of the key things I've seen, and actually as a hands-on operator myself when I ran my last business, was around labor optimization, labor modeling. That's a great thing. It was a great thing back then, this is 2-3 years ago, but especially now with the cost of labor going up, the ability to model labor in a better way, reactive to sales, reactive to needs of the operation, is something that's coming on leaps and bounds. So I've used a couple of systems in the past, but that's got the real opportunity. That's a real area for growth. Obviously, Priyesh talked about forecasting is a no-brainer. So for me, it's the labor modeling. I think is a really good complementary service for store operations as well.
Right. Thank you. Ivo, you want to follow up?
Yeah, I was curious about your answers about this term. So. And when, for instance, Priyesh, when AI was introduced in your operations, how did your team react? So did you face any challenges with trust or adoption, or just by changing the habits? How was it? Tell us.
In all honesty, it turned retail as we know it in the convenience sector completely on its head, because we were tasking AI to do roles first. And then we were picking up some of the slack that AI wasn't able to do. Ultimately, that caused some difficulties in our team, because they were worried that their job security was on the line. Where for me, it was quite clear that from the off, as Matt mentioned, labor optimization isn't about removing members of staff or cutting their hours. It's about enabling them to work better and focus on their key skill sets and drive them and empower them, basically. So what we realized is that giving them the autonomy to make decisions on which bits of the role in terms of in-store the AI modules are going to collect and do. And ultimately, running a convenience store is, at a grassroots level, is community first. AI cannot do those community first roles. So it allowed the team to focus on those elements of the business, ensuring that they were providing customer service excellence and driving those initiatives rather than worrying about the mundane tasks, which AI can do quite easily simplified without the challenges that a human would have to face.
Yeah, great. So, and Matt, what's your opinion about this? So, how you think your teams also react to AI's introduction? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's similar journey to Priyesh. So there's a definite. So I remember introducing some. I mean, this was pre-AC even calling this AI, right? This was back in, purely a system, but going back many years at Marks and Spencer's, introducing predictive forecasting, predictive ordering. The pushback is always that human knows better and I know better. And when you're working with big teams of 50, 60 people, that thought of, well, we know this better, we know what we're doing better. That's one hurdle that has to be overcome. And I think you're pretty hit the nail on the head. It's actually it comes back to leadership. It comes back to leading. And I think that's obviously why, it's great to see so many attendees on the call today, is clearly people who have got a vested interest in leading AI in their businesses and in their realms. So that's a great sign itself. And I think if you're leading with it, and exactly as Priya said, using it as a complementary, using it as we're not here to take your job, using it, we're actually here to make your jobs better, smarter. We're here to help you do better. We're here to help you drive sales. AI is here to do that. And you will get the benefits from that. If it's sold and if it's engaged in the right way, it's an easy sell. You absolutely see people where it isn't sold in and where it isn't connected to that end goal and that end need state. You see it fall over and you see it fail. But the biggest hurdle is exactly what we've just said, which is this: I know better. Actually using that and saying, well, look, you probably do. You have that human connection to your community, your customers. This is here just to make you supercharge that.
Yeah, great. So go ahead. No.
On that note, so obviously the leadership plays a determinant role in the success of implementing an AI-oriented business model, so to speak. What Matt, and just getting back to you, Matt, on that one. Besides that, do you think there are other big hurdles in terms of AI adoption based on what you have done so far? Beyond the human and leadership aspect of it, what do you think could be the other, or are the other difficulties that, from the implementation perspective? Are we talking about technical limitations? Are we talking about costs? Because they're also drivers of change, right? What do you see as other potential barriers to AI adoption beyond the leadership and the human aspect of it?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think there's a couple of points where you'd go, cost is one, right? We can't get away from it. If you're asking businesses to invest thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of pounds in the current climate, it's something that's going to be a challenge. It's going to be an uphill push. I completely agree with Paresh's point that you have to speculate to accumulate, but not every business is in that place at the minute. We mentioned around labor costs have gone up and everything. The impacts on that and the impact on supply chain over recent years has been tough. So cost is a big one. It also links into, like you said, around the current kind of tech framework in a number of operators. And again, operators I work with is sometimes it's quite legacy POS systems. So you've got quite old till systems, you've got quite old structural frameworks in your tech stack. So you do see that actually having to unpick some of that to really optimize what you want to do with that loose term of AI becomes quite challenging. But I think those smart people within the groups, within businesses, can see that actually even some very light touch AI machine learning tools can actually just drive improvement. That then is a virtuous cycle. The problem we get into a number of times is a vicious cycle. Actually, we don't invest, we get behind, we therefore don't invest again, and you actually end up further and further down that spiral. I think the other part is almost, and I hear this a lot from senior leaders, is actually the constant evolution of AI and the constant drive forward of AI and the newest innovation is the newest versions of ChatGPT, of Grok, of everything else that's coming through in the last few weeks. It almost feels like, at what point on this hugely fast spinning wheel do I jump on? At what point do I jump on and connect and get into it, and not be behind and not be too far ahead that I've actually picked the wrong lane? So that's a real challenge as well that I see out there. And I think that almost creates a bit of a malaise around, I see all this stuff happening, it's going a million miles an hour, but what point do I jump in? And almost they miss the development they could have had by not jumping in.
It's sort of and I share that opinion. I think that because the pace of development of AI features is so fast, people or business owners, perhaps they think it's better to step in now or wait another 6 months to see how this thing progresses, because ultimately the value for money could be different in 6 months from now than it is now, right? So that there's kind of a resistance because of the so fast innovation that they may think that's against us, isn't it? It's against us.
It's creating.
It sounds like it's much against you, but it's actually not, because the sooner you get on that, irrespective of the budget that you have that will allow you to make that investment, any level of AI operation that you can implement on the lowest, medium, or the largest budget you have, jump on that wheel now, because you'll start seeing your savings and your efficiencies in your management a lot sooner. So therefore, you'll then have a little, every year you're budgeting, you have a bit more to spend on that development. So you'll be staying ahead of the game always. And I think that's the key thing. Don't worry about when should I jump on. Jump on it.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
And find it.
Jump.
And
Just jump. Yeah.
I'd jump on the back of that, Priyesh, as well. I think it's trusted partners, isn't it? It's working with a trusted partner that's going to guide you through that journey as well. That's not just going to give you a solution for now, but they're a trusted partner that's going to evolve and grow and bring you that stuff as you move forward, bring you the newest innovations. So having that trusted partnership is crucial in that.
That's a good point. Just before I move to the next question, Matt, the trusted partner, the technical excellence side of things that people should look for. And there is a lot of noise out there in terms of AI solution providers. I mean, every day there's maybe 10 new companies operating or entering the space. How do we distill it from a retailer perspective? Priyesh, how do you distill the noise from the reality when it comes to, I want to work with company A and company B, but not with company C? How do we see this from a retailer perspective? How do you see the shop owners and the retail chain managers filter the noise from what really matters? Because I think that's also a problem in their end to figure out, right, who shall I trust in the end, right?
Very true. And I think some of that comes down to research and listening to webinars like this one, which is going to give you the support, the guidance to understand what true solutions are out there. Fortunately for me, being a franchise partner, I have a level of support, security, which I can rely on, knowing full well that the business above my head, way above my head, is fully vested in doing what they need to do when it comes to AI implementation. However, I have sort of gone out on a whim on my own for another concept, which we've just, we're about to have embedded, which is the retail AI camera system. Now that's going to support us with queue busting. It's got an element of customer service excellence because it's got music playing in the background, which is going to create an ambience to increase the shopper experience, incremental basket spends. We've then got elements which are going to do theft deterrent, shoplifting prevention, retail crime support. There are multiple different modules that can be bolted onto this particular system, but it's what do you want and what does your pocket allow you to invest in at that moment in time. So as I say, jump on with the smallest budget, and as that begins to provide you with those benefits, absolutely bolt on the modules that you feel are necessary for your store at that particular time.
Thank you, Priyesh. Ivo, want to follow up?
Okay, yeah, great, thank you. So one another curious question is about limits. So AI can go much further, but are there clear limits on what AI can predict in grocery or fast food or food-to-go environments? For instance, what do you think the human intuition or experience still plays a vital role today? This can go for you, Matt, first.
Yeah, I think there's always there's always that human element, and I go back to what Priyesh and I both said at the start: is this complementary mentality. I think if we treat it as that, it's a success. The limitations are still going to be there. There is still a need for a customer at the moment, and occasionally in Amazon stores slightly differently, but there's still a need for a customer to interact with a member of staff, the person to interact with a person. That chain will still continue and should still continue through retail, through food service, through QSR, through everything. There's still that human interaction, and with that will come grey areas, will come mistakes, will come things that don't fall into black and white binary code, right? So that's the stuff that still needs to happen. That's the stuff that still causes limitations. You know, that person will still make the wrong product, and therefore it will roll into your data. The bit I talk to my clients about the most, I would say at the moment, is data. And I think loose, I don't like the term, but I'll use it here, is big data. But having that depth of that data warehouse, that stack of information and spreadsheets that now most businesses are pretty common of having, it only tells you what has happened. It only tells you the information that it's been given. That's the challenge. The predictive AI is great at looking at the trend and looking forward, but the bit that it lacks is that true gut feel. You know, Priyesh is leading convenience retailer in the UK. It will know things in his gut that will work or not work in location, in customer type, in members of staff, the way they operate, the way they do things. I know it from my businesses, my clients, how certain stores will operate, react to newness, what store's going to work best for a trial or not, what product's going to work where do you put newness to test, what people are going to serve it better. And then I'll quickly deviate to a conversation that Nuno and I had last week around matcha drinks. Again, that's something that has far more reaching connotations in food, about introducing a drink into a coffee chain that wasn't necessarily operationally ready for it. AI wouldn't pick that up, right? AI is not going to know that stuff. You have to have that, still have that DNA, that person behind it supporting it. So yeah, that's the limitation still needing that human gut feel, that human mentality to push forward. As I said, go back to my earlier statement, combine that with the AI support, combine that with that framework, that's the supercharged element.
Oh, great, Matt. So Priyesh, you share the same opinion, or
100%. Businesses you cannot operate these businesses autonomously with AI and tech. They are all complementary factors. They support us in running our businesses. And 100%, as Matt mentioned about the matcha and the coffee shop and the readiness of that happening, these are all trends which humans will pick up and humans will recognize, and we'll put the product links together, we'll put the journey together and deliver it to the consumer. But delivering that to the consumer could be done through a vending machine if we wanted to go down that route. But no, customer service is paramount. Customer service excellence is paramount. And that's where we're in a realm of our own when it comes to community first, grassroots stores.
You're right there, because I think that vending machine point is really interesting. Because I think that you can get vended retail, some great vended retail out there. It still needs the brains of the people running those businesses to work with you as a partner to write what products, where do those products go, what's our visual, how does that machine look, is it in turn the right way, is it lit right? That's all still human interaction that's needed.
So that's a very good contribution. If I may add to that, I think that's the way I see it. Maybe in 1 year from now, I'll be totally wrong. But the way I see it is that AI is an excellent tool to free our day-to-day routines from free time from our day-to-day routines, so that the retailer can actually focus more on what it matters, which is the customer, right? So it allows you to carve out that time to be with the customer, to get to know the customer, to learn about the trends, to anticipate what's going to be the next matcha trend in cafes and stuff. So that's something that the AI probably will never be able to do it. Maybe 1 year from now we'll be wrong. Let's wait to see. But interesting to see that as a tool, it allows us to focus more on what matters, and what matters is the customer. 100%, the customer is what matters, nothing else, right? So we are moving quickly from AI as a forecasting tool, right? It has value as a forecasting tool, but it has value for many other things. Priyesh already gave the example of the CCTV operated AI that create ambience music and disrupts the environment once the cameras capture that someone is trying to steal something from the shop floor. So in a way that is not intrusive, but it's kind of, it lets someone managing the shop know that something is going wrong, but it doesn't basically disrupt the experience of the other shoppers. But looking beyond forecasting, and you guys already hinted some ideas here, but a bit more concrete, a bit more precise. Where do you see the biggest opportunities for AI to add value in the next maybe year or so beyond forecasting? So what do you think is the next big thing that AI can help us to solve for retailers or for retail operations in general? Priyesh, maybe you want to start with that.
Yeah, sure. So for me, it's leaning further into the labor optimization, and then also bringing, see, many stores up and down the country will have done everything they can with the store floor space that they currently have. They'll have maximized the number of hours that they can push for their employees. So what are we looking at now? We're looking at sweating hours potentially. So now you're looking at, can your store run on a 24-hour basis, or can you do late night opening? Tied in with that, again, without being labor heavy, can you look at the opportunity to have an online delivery system, but an online delivery system which is fully managed? Because what you don't want to do is become busy because you've chosen to become busy and you're now labor intense again, rather than leaning into the tech and the AI that was supposed to be there to support you. So yes, as individuals, as humans, we will decide what that route looks like, what that roadmap looks like for our businesses, but we've got to make sure that we, the same way we would account for investment in labor and opportunities there, AI is also an entity which needs to be considered at every step of the way to say, how can AI support my business? What do I need to do? Where does it fit in? Where does it slot in?
You've touched on an important aspect, which I know you are starting to do and succeeding, is the omni-channel approach, the approach that convenience stores don't sell just to the neighbors or to the neighborhood, they sell beyond the neighborhood, right? So you guys have night delivery services. You have almost, explain us a bit about what you're doing in that space and how AI may be able 100%. To help you to gain more presence in that online delivery model, so to speak.
Yeah. So you have a captive audience in a particular store. You have a demographic that visits your store, and that demographic, when you go online, becomes completely different because the shopper mission is completely different from an AM shop, PM shop, or a late night shop. And quite often you'll see the same customer shopping with you 3 times a day, but each time the basket spend can be the same good, strong value. However, the mission is completely different. You look at what's in that basket, and you're seeing that that shopper coming to your store would never have picked up those products. But because they've done it online, it's a different shopping experience. That's where it's leaned in. AI has also supported to ensure that they are signposted to the relevant promotions online. And that's all fed into your incremental basket spend. So now you've got a whole new captive audience, which would never have been there had you not looked at that opportunity. And then feeding back into that, okay, yes, you've got a really good captive audience, your basket spend is strong. Where do I now need to drive my efficiencies? And we're coming back into the point of making sure it's an omni delivery system. It's all linked in. So you're not, again, being sure on product on your shelf, being managed by the system, it's managed by AI to say, look, you sold this much through the night. The next, in the following night, so going to require the same amount of stock or more. And it's all of these tech factors, the AI forecasting, which will allow you to drive that forward.
Great, thank you. Matt, what's the
next
big thing?
Yeah, again, echo definitely where Priyesh is heading. I think what I'm seeing out there as well is a lot more around adaptive pricing. So we've seen in food to go, QSR space, cafe space, definitely now a massive adoption of digital menu boards, digital ticketing, digital shelf edge labels over the last 3 to 5 years. The evolution of that, I think, is absolutely around the integration into an AI modeling, into pricing modeling. So again, how can you best get both an optimized gross margin for a retailer or for an operator, whilst also offering great value for customers? And I think trimming those two is definitely a tool that AI will support with over time. And then also just touching through that, and I think carrying that journey on as I'm sort of nodding away at Priyesh around the store space and store planograms. I've got a personal obsession with this kind of side of things around how you properly lay out a store, retail store, cafe, restaurant, a properly structured menu. So I think AI will have a massive impact in supporting that, right from the macro level of where our sales coming from, heat mapping, but right the way down to micro level planograms, tying that in with the price work, tying that in with all of that, providing those just those recommendations to the person, so that then that gut feel, that DNA, that person can take over, but providing those really good, short, snappy insights and potential upsides. I think that for me is where the next stage goes.
Thank you, Matt. So, Ivo, up to you now.
Yeah. So yeah, I would like to ask one final question to Matt and another to Priyesh. So let's start with you, Matt. So as you work currently with many customers and different type of business, how you see, so if you see that one product work very well on one concept, will you use that product or that knowledge to another concept or another business? And do you think AI can also help you on forecasting multiple or global shops around to recommend to other kind of business, even different types of business? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think definitely. So I there's a number of tools that I lean into, say, not necessarily in true AI space, but in systematic predictive forecasting, labor modeling, etc. There's a number of tools number of systems I use and I've used for many years and lean into with various clients that I have and would provide recommendations and show. I'm always open to learning and seeing the new as well, and being convinced on the new being better or not. But yeah, those systems can absolutely go across multiple different retailers, multiple different operations, multiple different waves. I come back to that have trusted partnership and working with the right people behind those tools who understand the retailer, who understand how things work at that end, or want to understand and will partner with you to deliver that. They're the ones to get in with, and they're the ones that I would always heartily recommend to my clients, because that's what it's all about, right? That's making that connection and having the skill set and the people on both sides of that line, relying on AI to really optimize it and really make it the best fit for the user. That's the really powerful bit. They're the ones who will succeed and will get growth and will be the ones that you end up being connected to more and more businesses as time goes on.
Okay, great, thank you. And one also final question to you, Priyesh. So you are using a lot of AI features today. So, but if you could implement just one new AI feature tomorrow, like something really rare, what would it be?
Interesting question. I've never really thought that far ahead, because we lean in on what's already being discussed and talked about and what's being showcased out there already on the market, right? So we've got our AI ordering system. I think that for One Stop, I think labor optimization is something that maybe we could lean in on a little bit more to understand where maybe some of the gaps in our skill sets are and support our teams to upskill them. Something that I looked into and did myself outside of AI was actually investing in my team to ensure that they're fully empowered. So we went out to from our own pockets and businesses and decided that we wanted everybody to hold an alcohol license, a personal license. And it's a good job we did that, because currently we have the generational ban coming through, which is a really hot topic in retail, right? And actually, I think there's a module there that could be developed for understanding, A, what does that mean for businesses? Are we now going to be age verifying individuals on an annual basis? And if so, is there a module that could sit at our till points, scan an individual, go off to the database for the government and come back and say pass or fail? Because that will alleviate a lot of disgruntlement and retail crime. That's going to avoid a lot of confrontations, which is going to drive retail crime through the roof if it's not well managed. So there's a lot of opportunities which we go from where I discuss sort of just having my team doing personal license courses to across to the generational ban, and now actually there's an opportunity for AI to step in and support us. So I think a lot of what we've discussed is, yes, it's driven by an individual's decision-making skill, and then there's an opportunity for AI to support, complement, and support us.
That's lots of good ideas there. I see some business opportunities there. Honestly,
Landed them here
for Storesace and beyond. Yeah, very good. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to start up a company, just fix that problem you mentioned, which I know in the UK it's going to be a big problem. It's not easy to solve, definitely. Well, thank you guys for sharing such rich insights and practical examples. I think we move to the next part of the webinar where Ivo will give us some highlights about some features that Storesace is developing that may be able to help with some of these hurdles and some of these challenges that you guys have mentioned. Ivo, up to you now.
Well, so yeah, I think we're just seeing my screen. So as we all seen is today that AI is no longer just a buzzword, right? So we are really transforming how retail shops operate and save money, but also grow smarter. So as we have seen, running a store today really means making hundreds of small decisions daily. So for instance, as Priyesh also said, and Matt, so what to reorder, what to promote in terms of items, and what's not selling, and for instance, which prices do we need to change. So we all know that managers, employees spend hours every week just trying to read the data. But the point is, what if your system really told you what to do? Okay, it will save you much time. So that's exactly what Storesace can do. We have an AI assistant view, a feature that combines smart sales demands forecasting, real-time inventory intelligence, and AI-powered recommendations. So just sharing my screen. This is how it looks like. Into one simple assistant, it can work like a digital co-manager. So every day it will tell you what to restock, what to remove, what to promote, or even what price to go up and down, and all of this like automatically. It's just we see as a manager, we can go and dive into Storesace. We will see real-time data flows from all the business, from real-time sales to real-time inventory, from real-time purchase and demand on stocks, and forecasting as well, forecasting the future days, forecasting the demands. And if you enter like a manager point of view of one shop, we can see all the daily to-dos to pending. So we will see all the orders that we need to make, orders to approve, receivables that we will receive today, but also alerts on what's the prediction rupture in terms of stock for today or the following days. But not only this, we can see our today's AI power recommendation. So this is a list generated automatically. Each day, a manager can go and see here what changes do we need to apply today. So in this case, we can see what prices we need to grow, what prices we need to lower to get more margin, to get more sales. This will tell you everything automatic. So we predict all the possible changes, all the possible path in terms of price changings, and we determine which is the best to apply. And we can see how we can gain from a product rise in terms of pricing, or even lowering a price to get you more sales. We lower the price, but we will rise the sales and gives you more margin. Also, in terms of stocks, we will see all the rupture. We will predict how the sales will go, and we will go out of stock if we don't have enough quantities to fulfill the sales, and we will see our expected loss. So Storesace will warn you, will give you also all the advices, but we will also warn you what are the losses that you may follow on the next couple of days. So this is no need for a manual reports, okay? No need to guess. This is just actions and steps that can be reviewed like with 2 minutes every morning. So, and how this works, this is really the secret and to make it work. So our sales forecasting uses advanced machine learning that predicts the demand at each item level. This is not just formulas. This is not just average. Is real algorithms running in the background like daily and every time in real time. So our analysis also recommends the bundles that drive the revenue, okay? And our models understand how the price changes affect also the demand on other items as well. And how it gets exciting. So we combine really millions of data information also with multiple external data sources. For instance, we combine the weather, the temperatures, the season, local sports events or festivals or concerts, or even deflation rates. Just to give you an example, our system can understand how a rainy Tuesday or a sold out Ed Sheeran concert next to one shop can affect the bread or the beer sales. Okay, this is impressive what we are really doing, and this is on our machine learning algorithms that makes our forecasts, and consistently we can reach over 92% accuracy. Okay, this is how we capture the full context behind the sale. So just to give you an example, the real impact of early adopters, we can go on average 25% less stock wastage. So we predict what's on the top, we predict what's needed, and you can control exactly what your inventory must have. And 80%, you can see obviously, you can see the time that you save. We on average have 80% less time spent on stock on pricing decision and data analysis as well, and of course by the end we'll have higher margins also by rising the products or just removing lower performing items that can boost the trending ones. Okay, this is like hiring a data scientist but fully automated. Okay, this is what we are really doing in Storesace. So just to finish, our opinion and what Storesace really is helping this business is just forecasting the future. Isn't just a dream, it's a decision that Storesace really helps you to make like every day. Okay, thank you. Yeah,
that's a good insight, Ivo. I think what screams the presentation screams that what we are trying to do in Storesace and what the market is headed towards is simplification of how the information is portrayed to the user, to the retailer, to the manager. So managers don't really have time to go through all the data that the application has, but they need actionable, simple things that they need to do and approve or disapprove. But basically, we are heading towards, let's make the data actionable for those who don't have time to spend digesting the data, and it's like a tick boxing exercise, isn't it? And free their time to focus on the customer and what other aspects. Thank you. I think we'll have time for a few questions. I have just one question, and if you guys want to raise the questions, I think you can just type them on the chat box. I'm not sure if the audio is possible, but feel free to ask any questions. One question here from João Carlos: how far back does the data need to go for the AI model to generate insights? This is probably related to Storesace system, Ivo.
Yeah, I can answer this one. So as far as we go, we have more data we go, we can be more predict. But from what we have seen, in about 1 month, we can have 1 month of data, we can start to have the first predictions. Okay, of course, if we have at least 1 year of data, we'll have much more accuracy because we will take in count the season and the holidays and so on. So we will count all the history to predict the future as well. But if we see in at least 1 month of data, we can already start predicting the forecasts and generating insights. So
thank you.
Yeah, just one curious, just one thing about the question. So is how far? Okay, one thing is what we need passed on the data. Another thing is the future, what we predict. So we like to be very accuracy on the predictions that we make. So actually, we are predicting the next 30 days of information. Okay, of course we can estimate longer, but to make accuracy, we predict at least 30 days, the next 30 days. Okay, and we generate recommendations for these days. Okay.
I think that's a natural follow-up from this question is what to do with the legacy systems, because if you move to a system like Storesace that will start making prediction and making assumptions about the future, you do not need to have Storesace from, let's say you start Storesace in September 2025. If you have a legacy system from another company, another provider, can you actually tap into that data and bring it into Storesace and use it as actionable data for Storesace to learn and to make decisions? How does it work, Ivo, from that perspective?
So yeah, it's from our perspective is just to continuously improving the forecastings and the algorithms we learn from also from our customers, from the data. For instance, this webinar is interesting to see how AI is currently used and how we can extend it with more features as well, and incorporate into Storesace, because this is our daily need, is to look into our customers and help them daily to improve, to raise more margins, to improve the stocks and to reduce the stock waste. So this is our daily work, to be together with the customers and help them.
So the legacy system is not a barrier. We can use that data and incorporate it into making better decisions for the future.
Exactly, yeah.
Another question here, is AI a tool for only large brands? How can a small business make use of this tool? This is a good one. I think it's obvious. It's William Connors asking this question. Maybe I will leave it also Priyesh or Matt if you want to comment.
So
I'm Priyesh, you go first.
I was going to say, so I'm an independent franchise partner, so I only have the one site. And as Matt mentioned earlier, it's about who you choose to partner up with and provide and support you with those services along that journey. I chose One Stop, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't look back. However, from what Storesace are offering, if it makes sense and you're comfortable and confident to run with it, it's your decision. And all I would say is make sure you make a fully informed decision, because AI can be as useful as it is, or it can be a challenge, because you've got to be on board. You've got to have bought into it yourself as an individual.
I think I'd add into that again. As small a business as can be, it's just me. Yeah, I'm an independent consultant, work with multiple brands across the world and big businesses, but even just as a small business myself, I lean into AI heavily, have done now for a good couple of years. I personally can't, again, Storesace is a fantastic solution, but the wider point of AI, very proud of how far my business has come in 2 years by leaning into the use of AI, either as predictive learning tools or using vision on a couple of things that I've worked with retailers around using vision AI to scan fixtures and provide outcomes in driving performance forwards, or as deep as Storesace. There's fantastic replications on, and I just sort of touched on the point that Priyesh made earlier, is about you find the bit that's right for you, jump in, go for it, find the solution that's right for you, that's going to give you return, and you'll see the return from investing in that, and fund the next part of the evolution, and you work up a virtuous cycle rather than possibly getting left behind in a vicious cycle, and your small business will become a large brand very quickly, is my view.
I think it's a good insight. I mean, personally, and based on our experience at Storesace, we don't see the cost as a problem, as a barrier for small businesses. The cost is not a barrier. AI and technology is becoming cheaper. It could cost a shop owner as little as a cappuccino per day in terms of how much it costs, how much it adds up in a monthly bill, which is almost nothing. And from the implementation perspective, I would probably ask Ivo, based on his experience. I know that we have projects that we onboard customers within 2 weeks, and other projects we onboard customers within 2 months. Small businesses don't have the time to wait, perhaps, for the results. They are more cash driven. But Ivo, how do you see that as a problem, as a complication for small businesses, the onboarding time to have the plug-in solution in place and effectively working? How do you see it from Storesace's perspective and track record?
Well, that's I'll see just at operations level. So When you go in a big chain of stores, they have much more automated operations or defined workflows, and normally small shops they pretty depend on the owner that does everything or does everything or tries to do everything. So when and with Storesace we try to help them. So we can both enter in a big chain and have them help them with the automated process and introduce Storesace for that as well, to free the people, to free the time, and to improve also efficiency on their processes. But on small chains, it's pretty the same. So we will try to do the same work as we do with the big chains and help the owner, help the managers to have more time to what they really do well. So it's for the shop to improve the sales and everything, will give them the insight. So this for us is pretty the same in terms of our process to help small business or large business, okay? Because in the end, we will try to improve the operations and establish the right workflows to work on this, okay?
I'll just jump in on the back of that, Ivo. I think you made a brilliant point when you were doing the presentation. You said around it's like hiring a full-time data analyst. Not many small businesses, and myself included, and I'm sure Presh will be the same, could go away and find a 45 grand a year data analyst to come in and do what AI can do, what Storesace can do. Yeah. So actually on William's question in the box is exactly that, right? You're getting that for a fraction of that price, for a cappuccino a day, as Nuno says. Stuff like that. I mean, even down to subscriptions for some of the advanced AI text learning tools like ChatGPT, Grok. It's 20-30 pounds a month. That is to get what you're getting, to get that return, to compare that to a 40 odd grand a year data analyst. That almost makes it better for small businesses, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Just the last two questions, guys. Thank you for the answers. Just they are kind of connected, but Antonio and Joanna are asking basically around the Storesace, how Storesace allows the user to visualize the information. Can we see the information at the aggregate level and at a more granular level? And also, is the forecast intended for B2B or B2C or both? I think this is more like a B2B, but I will let Ivo answer this last question before we wrap it up.
Yeah, I will combine that question also with one from Philippe Feijão. That's how are the decisions that Storesace foresee that are handled over AI and why? So basically, Storesace, what we do is we collect the information as much as we can, and we can give millions of insights and millions of decisions. Of course, if a system, normally the systems, they will give you data for you to lose time to review it and analyze it. So and that's what we are currently doing differently at Storesace. Besides, we also give all the data, all the millions of data that we extract and we generate, but we also give the right insights. So for all the overview of the data, we detect which are the most profitable or the most urgent decisions to take. Of course, in terms of decisions, we alert and we avoid the losing time to review all the 30,000 products that you may have and just look on the top ones, on the most value ones or most important ones. For instance, in terms of reorders, we can automate all the reorders as well, because we forecast all the products. We have real-time inventory levels and real-time inventory quantities, so we can automate also all the process in terms of reordering to your suppliers. You can just go there and review it manually, or you can just go there and leave Storesace to approve and send directly the orders to the supplier. There is also another question that was talked in this webinar, the labor. We can also help on detecting which are the peak hours to have more employees, or when we need to establish the right shifts for our employees as well. So this is decisions, and Storesace will give you the right ones.
Right. Well, thank you for asking your questions, and hopefully, if you want to go a bit deeper into understanding not just Storesace, but also the other contributions from Priyesh and Matt. So Priyesh, if people want to connect with you, ask questions, share knowledge, how can they do it? LinkedIn, I would probably guess.
Yes, please reach out through LinkedIn. Anybody who wants any insights on anything that we're doing in store and wants to come and have a look, take a look at the in-store setup, look at how we operate AI, you're more than welcome. Just please reach out and book an appointment with us.
Perfect. Matt.
Yeah, hopefully you can see here somewhere on one of
It's
the sides of the
inverted.
screen, my
It's
details.
inverted. Can you invert it?
There we go. We're back now.
All right.
But yeah, so yeah, feel free to reach out, go to the website, or connect on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's always a good start, as Precious said as well. So great. Thanks for everyone for attending.
That's perfect. And thank you, Priyesh and Matt, for being here. And thanks for your time. I hope this session was profitable way to manage your Tuesday morning. Well, we will wrap up shortly. Just before that, if you have any questions, regardless of it's about Matt's expertise, Priyesh experience, Storesace capabilities, do direct message us and contact us. We already provided you with the contacts. We are always happy to engage in conversations. The next session, it will be in September, and we will do a deep dive into optimizing in-store operations, potentially going more in depth into the insights of how the convenience shop of the future may look like, or how the retail food operation of the future may look like. So we are not just going to talk about AI, but mostly around how AI will be always present, I think, moving forward, but looking at other aspects of operation efficiency, impact, and we'll keep you posted on the next webinar and what's going to happen. Well, I thank you very much for being here. We are just wrapping up. Ivo, if you want to say some final words, and then we'll close the session and move on with our busy day.
It was a very interesting talk here. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Priyesh, for your time and for being here. So for all that were joining, we will send you also an email with the details. We can follow up, and then we can have further questions and discussions after all. Okay, thank you so much for all being here.
Thank you, everyone. Have a rest of a good day, and see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.